All right. It's on to me. Hey, let me give you guys a little bit of update. If you saw my email that I sent off with my wife helping, and we announced to the ALC that we were going to make a leadership change. And that means I've sat in the team leader seat here at Southwest for 10 years. And in team leader life, that's a long time. And yet it's been a passion. As I said, I really care about it. And yet I've just created some other opportunities or headaches, whatever you want to do it, or more wrinkles, where I am now overseeing 5 market centers, this being one of them. Katie Signature, Houston Central, one in Western Colorado in an area I grew up, and one in San Diego. Those all have a story to it and something I'm passionate about. And I'm still doing. People ask, what are you going to do next? Right? And to me is I'll be around. You won't get rid of me. I'll find a place to office here. Right now I'm sharing with Akil. He doesn't know that yet. He's going to like, this is not what I signed up for, because I'm loud. And yet it'll give me an opportunity to reach out and run some other businesses and kind of work on some other things as well. So I'll be present and yet sitting out of the day-to-day operations. So just create an opportunity to explore and move some things around and create some opportunity. And so I want to introduce to you, if you haven't, our new team leader. She's not really new to us, but a successful one is Jana Hayes. So I want everybody to welcome Jana Hayes. Come on up. Don't take my bourbon. You can take the cake. I'm kidding. And so Jana is not a stranger to here. Jana started her career at Keller Williams Southwest. I can still remember the recruiting appointment. Yeah. No, it's a good story. And she found Keller Williams by somebody outdoor knocking. It was Christine Fuentes, was outdoor knocking. And then Jana says, hey, I'm going to get into real estate. And she came in here and goes, I already got business and I'm going to have it all under control. And she already had it figured out. Yet I quickly learned I can watch young agents, young meaning you're into the industry. I could tell having success by the way you walk in the hallway. And if you remember back, Jana, in the beginning is when she was walking through the hallway, she might knock you over because she was on purpose, she was on point, and she was in here to make money. So I sat in an Ignite class and I said, you know, there's a Rookie of the Year award, which I won in 2007 at this office. And I said, and nobody has ever beaten a record. It was $125,000 in gross commission income at that time. It qualified you for the launch award, and it was a big deal. And I said, and I threw it out every year, if anybody beats it, my wife and I will take you out for a steak dinner. And so, what year was it you won?
2014.
14. I gotta lose the dates. So 2014, Jana was a Rookie of the Year, right? Her GCI was 160-ish.
You don't even know my version of the story is so different.
Hold on, you can tell it. You can tell that version next week, but this week I get to tell it. It was what?
156.
150. I rounded up for her. She didn't even like it. It was 156. That's also the rookie number that's never been beaten. I'm second place. And Jana, make sure she got the steak dinner. She was purposeful on that conversation while she was there. And so she goes, I'm kind of exploring this leadership. I'm going to explore this leadership opportunity. And so she quickly jumped into the PC coach. How many of you had Jana as your PC coach? Raise them on. Okay. And she built one of the most successful PC programs in all of the country. And really the fundamental and the things that we use today was kind of Jana. And then she goes, hey, I'm looking for another opportunity. And that was in time Joe Rothschild and I were in conversation of overseeing the Katie Signature office. And so it was in great shape. I'm kidding. When somebody says, hey, would you like an opportunity? We would love to do it. That typically means it's what? It's going to be a chaos and a mess. And Jana thought it was a great opportunity. We sold her on it and she jumped in. And yet I can tell you, turn that market center around. And in fact, not last year, previous year, 2022 was the #1 net company in all of Keller Williams, right? This is 800 plus market centers in recruiting in net number, not just to gross, in net, and significant growth over with a 3-year reign and just really turned that around. And she's looking, and she wanted to go home, and this is her market center. So I am proud to be in business with Jana. You're going to love her energy, her drive, her expertise that she brings. I know some of you already seen that, but this is going to add. This is not a takeaway. This is an add. And she will make sure she chases. She already chased me out of that office that sits in the front yesterday. And so I found a new little spot, but that doesn't matter. So I'm always available to help, yet you got a really key person. So that's how we wanted to set this up today. So Jana.
Thanks, Chad.
That was pretty good, right?
Yes, you did a great job. Thank you, Chad.
Is there any variation that you would add that would be different to your story?
I might share it in private any other time. I wanted to start our business meeting as the Happy New Year with mimosas and orange juice, and I was told by Chad not today. So we will save it for next week. No, so make sure to show up. No, seriously, I am extremely grateful and honored to be back home because this is my home. This is where I started as that brand new agent. Yesterday, there was a seasoned agent at heart that came to say hi, and she said, wow, when I met you, you were 4, and then all of a sudden you were 18, and then you left home to do big things, and here you are back looking at you as a grown-up adult. And as I was driving home, it just, my husband asked me, are you nervous? I said, I am not nervous because it truly feels like coming home. I was mentored by Gary Sternenkel back in 2013, hang out with many of you. So this is truly an honor and a privilege to be leading this organization by Chad and Krista and Verna, Norman, and the rest of the leadership team. So, all I know is basically what I was taught by Chad and plus other leaders.
If something goes wrong, that's what happens, right?
So when I do things well, it's a great job, Jana. When there's something you don't like, blame it on Chad. 100%. So, I am very involved leader whenever it comes to the top agents, as well as the new agents in the productivity coaching program, because I've been just like you. If this is your first team meeting and you're sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, how I'm gonna make 156,000 in GCI in 1 year, it can be done. And I'm very excited to partner with you and help you. And every single agent should have my cell phone number. I'm also going to write it over here. So you guys can reach out to me Saturday, Sunday. I help in any way I can. I live here in Sugar Land. So, Chad was joking that the distance is priceless. Man, when I was driving yesterday, it took me 15 minutes. I just smiled. It was very nice. So I live on an acreage with my husband in Bridalwood. We have 2 beautiful babies, and I'm very excited, hopefully for the next decade here at KW Southwest, to see how we can grow the culture, productivity, and just partner with you, locking arms to make sure that we crush it in 2024.
All right, let's ask you a few questions. I didn't set her up for this intentionally. And if you were to go back in your beginning, a rookie agent hitting 156 in gross commission income, that's a great story. What's some lessons you learned from that first couple of years as an agent that you learned?
Yeah, so, I remember the lessons very well because many of you that are sitting here, whenever you realize it or not, had a huge impact on my business as a producing agent in this office. And it was simply, as the new agent, locating and creating a relationship with the top peeps and ask them, what is it that's working for them? What are they doing well? Instead of shadowing open houses, go and visit 10, 15 open houses in 1 weekend and just do the speedy learning, the speedy shadowing. People still don't know you're a real estate agent, so give them your correct information and see who tries to convert you and what they do. And then just copy it and make it your own, because there's enough business for everyone. So whenever it's Gary or Al Khatri, Pam Shockey, or the rest of the leaders over here, every single one of them taught me something over the years. And so that would be one of the lessons.
You were pretty successful with open houses, weren't you?
Yeah, well, 90% of my business came from open houses because guess what? I came to this country I'm originally from the Czech Republic, and I went to med school. So whenever Lisak asked me, what is survey? I'm like, survey who? Right? No idea. And the only 2 people I knew in Houston was my husband and my mother-in-law. I had no other choice. Whenever they tell you cold calling, guess what? I don't know if you have noticed my Alabama accent. People would hang up on me. They thought I was beans. I had no other option than to connect with people face to face. So whenever it's networking, whenever it's open houses, you just got to make your contacts. And I quickly learned by Kathy Stubbs and Audra O'Neill that the more contacts you make, the more successful and the sooner you succeed.
That's great. So open houses was the name of the game, right? And we still have opportunities for open houses. And if you don't, and they weren't your listings, were they?
No. And whenever you post on a KWSW Facebook forum, I want to host an open house. Well, guess what? That's not going to work. But if I'm going to call Valerie and I say, hey, Valerie, this is Jana Hayes. I'm a newer agent here at KW Southwest. And I'm reaching out because I see that you have this beautiful listing in 123 Main Street. Well, I just took an open house class and I wanted to see if there's any way I could host it for you this Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 4. I'm going to have 30 plus signs. I'm going to call around the neighborhood to invite all of the people that are currently renting. I'm also going to door knock over 50 doors. And then right after the open house, I'm going to send you an email and provide a feedback. Do you think that there is any way that I could host it for you? Do you think she's going to say more likely yes versus do you need an open house host?
And you delivered on that request, and then you became the preferred agent for them to host it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Would that work for you, Pinky? Yes. And Pinky is in need of somebody to work open houses, by the way. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Yes. And I'm sure you never canceled on somebody last minute.
You know, there's a story that I don't know if I should be sharing or not, but I already had my daughter. It was 2017, and I just had this internal feeling my grandma was sick for a very long time, that I don't have much time left. And I had a very high risk pregnancy, so I could not fly. And I was scheduled to host an open house for Butch Watterson, that was an agent in this office, that Saturday and Sunday. And Thursday morning, I got up and I said, I don't think that I am going to make it on time if I don't leave today. And so I booked that flight with my baby to fly to Europe to see my grandma in a hospital. And while I was at the airport, I called every single agent in this office to find a replacement for me. And once I had that replacement, I made that phone call to his assistant to say, I am so sorry to cancel on you last minute. However, this is the replacement. They have my 30 open house signs, and I promise they're going to do the same job that I would do for you. I'm glad that I made it on time because my grandma passed 48 hours later. So I am not sharing this as a sad story. I am sharing this as a commitment to the customer service that you want to have for your agents, but also for your colleagues, because that is important.
Yep. Built a big business and was the rookie of the year following that commitment in your plan. Okay, let's forward it to lessons in market center leadership. What's some lessons that you've learned along the way?
Team leader years are like dog years. 1 year equals 7 years. Very similar to being a top producing agent.
That's good.
No.
No, that's why they gave me brown water. Yes, it is. I hope you hear that though, and you do appreciate you have a top team leader in our company who is coming home to lead this operation. Do not take that for granted. You might not agree with everything, right? But I can tell you, we have a heart for serving you and moving you forward, and that will continue. And the ability, not just here, we grow leaders out of this office. I'm telling you, is one of the best. And we have great leadership here. While you might not agree with everything, I know many of you in this room can look at you and they can say, Chad did this and Chad did that. And yet our intentions and the way they showed up, do not take that for granted. That's what makes this place really, really special. And Andy and I she's still the broker of record. OP, we're still here to answer your questions, but you got another tool in addition to that. Okay, what else did you learn?
All right. So one of the other lessons that I have learned as the newer, right, brand new team leader at a market center was that this is still a contact sport. It just changes. So in a leadership role, you are recruiting for agents, just like you as an agent is recruiting buyers, sellers, tenants, investors, wherever that is for you. So the role never changes. It is still a contact sport, and it still comes down to your work ethics. So Chad is absolutely correct. You might be an aggressive listing agent. You might be a really great at expireds. But at the end of the day, if you don't service the business well, this is going to be a sprint rather than a marathon for you whenever it comes to building a legacy and a big career that eventually you can step down from. And so the same thing in leadership. I'm only as good as the people that I'm in a business with. And that means the leadership team. And that also means the agents that were at the signature office. You know, when we celebrated the #1 and we got an award from Mo Anderson, I'm a huge fan of Mo Anderson. Everybody over here knows Mo Anderson. Raise your hand if you do know who she is. All right, only a few of you. So Mo Anderson is basically the icon of KW culture. She has written a great book that's called A Joy-Filled Life. You can find it on Amazon. It's $14, and yet the lessons that are in the book are, oh my goodness, just a huge value that you can relate to as an agent, as a leader, as a parent, as a friend. And if that's what you're going to live by in 2024, I promise you will be successful.
Okay. All right. So what?
Trying to think what else, but I think that's pretty much it. Just make
good.
your contacts.
It is. I wish sometimes we make business really complicated. Business is very simple, right? There's a certain way to go about it. Did not say it was easy. It is not easy. And yet it is a simple business. Doesn't matter if you're sitting in the agent seat, in the market center leadership, or any other business. And I will just tell you, you'd think Jana knows the MREA book. Do you think she knows it? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know the 4 models? Who knows the 4 models? Who can name them? Okay, name them, Brandon. You get a free office bill if he names it.
Economic model, lead gen model, budget model, organization.
Okay, great. He just made $99 today. And in that is anything that we do and design is based off of that model. So know those models and systems. They serve us well. And in fact, Jana, you also coach other leaders, correct?
Yeah, I do. So trying to see, 4 years ago, I became a MAPS coach, and I was coaching other productivity coaches because that's something that I'm very passionate about. Then I took a little break as I was pregnant with my second baby, as I knew that I had to give it my all in the team leader seat. And then after 2 years ago, I came back, or actually a year ago, I came back as the MAPS coach, coaching a few top team leaders across the country regarding recruiting and leading their organizations, as coaching is always something that I'm very passionate about. Whenever it's you and your individual business, or it's other team leaders across the country on how to run market centers. So it's truly the mindset of learning. I still have a coach myself. I still meet with Chad on a weekly basis because I do believe that knowledge is power. And when you think that you know it all, there's always more that you can learn. So stay humble, stick to your goals, customer service, and just know that there's enough business for everyone because no one succeeds alone.
Okay, cast a little vision either for your world or this market center. What's going to change? What's going to be different?
Well, Chad taught me one thing in 2020, and that's in the first 90 days, you don't even move the coffee pot.
That was Barbara who moved it because we were under construction. Yes.
So no, I mean, really what I want to focus on in the first 90 days is to getting to know you. I know many of you, and yet for some of you that we don't necessarily have a relationship, I want to get to know your goals. As I said, I'm a very active leader. I am very energetic, and at times I could come across very direct. I want to make sure that every single one of you knows that from the bottom of my heart, I always mean well. And sometimes I might be direct in my approach because I get to see the potential in, I say my agents, because now I am one of you guys. And the commitment that you made for your families. And sometimes I want you to succeed more than you do. Because being in real estate is hard. It's exhausting. You have to lead generate. And at times we put in so much work and we don't even know if we are going to get paid at the end, right? It is one of the most challenging jobs that there is, because we wake up unemployed every single day. Yes or yes? It's brutal, especially if you have to do it for 5, 7, 10 years. And so the better job we can do in creating systems, providing an excellent customer service, so we can continue getting referrals, and then build our teams, if that's something that you desire to do, to truly a 7th level, so you can finally step down and create what they say at Keller Williams, right? Lives worth living and businesses worth owning, then that's what this is about. And so that's going to be my primary focus in 2024, to make sure that no matter what's happening up there with the interest rates, people are still going to be buying and selling. And so I have committed to locking arms with you and helping you achieve your individual goals. That's what I want to do. And whenever it comes to the organization, I want this office to be the spot that everybody wants to be a part of. I want to have a lot of fun. I want to attract other top producing agents, because this office has a very unique culture. And you don't realize it until you're not part of it. You know, when I left after 8 years of being in this office and I moved to other KW, I said, what is this? You don't realize it unless you leave it. So it's something that we all should be proud of. And we also need to do a better job in communicating to the other agents, because not many offices are in that way and have truly this community of agents sharing and supporting one another. So congratulations, you're part of an amazing office.
Okay. How about we open it up for some questions? Let's watch Jana dance a little bit. Come on, Sharon. Sharon's probably going to be easy on you. Yes. Oh, sure did that.
She did that yesterday.
Anybody got any questions for Jana? Comments? Can you say what? Sternagel?
Gary Sternengel.
There you go. Gary likes a version of that, right? Yes, that's great.
Look, that's Gary's German version of a name, except it's been mispronounced so many times that he doesn't even know how to pronounce it correctly.
Anybody online? Looks like we have 60 plus online. Anybody got any questions? Yeah, Tanya, go, and we'll repeat it. What was your main source of lead gen? As far as you didn't know anybody here,
Open houses.
Okay, just open house.
Open houses.
Well,
Open
hold
houses.
on. She met somebody at an open house, right? And tell them that story, because that's a great version. When you connect with somebody, they know somebody else.
All right. So super quickly, because it is a powerful story that actually allowed me to make a lot of money over the years. As Chad twisted my arm to take Bold as a first-year agent. I don't know why I agreed to it. I just did. And, you know, in Bold,
With like a lot of you, I don't need it. Go ahead. Yes.
back then they were dropping dollar bills on us.
Yes.
And so you have to make your contacts. And you know how they ask you, how many listing appointments do you have? And then you put your sticker on. Well, guess what? Jana Hayes had 0. 0, 0, 0. And so I had to do whatever I had to do. And I went to Dillard's in the middle of summer. I said, there's going to be a lot of people. And as I'm at Dillard's, they're perfumes. And you know how you can like smell them? So I went over there and I said, I'm actually looking for a perfume that, you know, is like light and fresh, because I'm a real estate agent and I sweat a lot. And the lady, her name is Ravan, she looked at me and she says, you're a real estate agent? We are currently in an apartment and we are thinking about buying. I said, okay, fantastic. And that was my first client, and they bought a house in Old Sugar Land for $175,000. Well, 3 months later, I received a phone call, and it was from a very well-known cardiologist in Houston that was back in Boston, relocating to Houston. And he says, hey, my cousin is a husband of Ravan, who sold you a perfume, and I am relocating to Houston, and I was wondering if you would help me buy my house and invest you. I said, absolutely. And that's how the party started, right? He referred me to other cardiologists and to other specialists in the field. And slowly and surely, I took over UT Health. But the lesson learned behind this is you treat every single client like $1 million client. Doesn't matter if they are leasing, doesn't matter if this is a $100,000 purchase, you treat them like $1 million client, because you never know who they know.
Great. Okay, what else? Any other questions? Linda?
Okay, I can do that. So everybody knows over here Nikki Barker? Some of you? Some of you. Okay, fantastic. So I'm hosting an open house, and there's this lady, 7 months pregnant, that walks into the open house with her dad. And that day, I didn't have anybody. I said, I'm not making her leave unless she is my client, even if that means I have to lock the doors here. So anyway, long story short, I connected with her dad. I don't even speak Italian, but we were just communicating using our hands. And I was known for following up with people until they file a restraining order or they buy or sell a house with me. And so I kept on following up with me. She kept on ignoring me. And then 6 months later, my phone rings and she says, hey, do you remember me? You walked into I walked into your open house. I think I am ready to buy. And so I looked her up in a database and I see blonde lady, Italian, had a little baby, showed up with her dad. I said, absolutely. How is your baby? How is everything? Anyway, went there, they bought a house with me and we became best friends. Well, before we became best friends, she said, I'm stay-at-home mom and I'm just thinking about something to do. I said, I think that you would be great in real estate. She said, really? I said, absolutely. Why don't you consider maybe becoming an admin, getting your feet wet? And so I connected her with one of the top producing agents over here, Roscoe Ford, and she was his admin for approximately a year. She outgrew him very quickly. Then she became a buyer's agent, individual agent. And over the years, I just continued pouring into her because I saw a huge potential whenever it comes to passion for helping others, high energy, and truly a servant's heart. So we did become best friends, and then she took over the productivity coaching program, and I believe that she did a way better job than I ever did. And now she is the team leader at Houston Central and will be replacing me at the signature office. And as I walk out of that office, again, I had a smile on my face because I knew that the market center is going to be in good hands.
Okay, one last question.
Nobody wants to know if we are serving the mimosas next week?
I will be out of town, so behave yourself. Okay, great. Well, I hope you just captured right there a lot of energy, a lot of expertise, passion, right? Back in the day, we had an instrument called the AVA, and that was our behavior. Anybody take an AVA? It was the tool before the KPA. Big believers in behavior assessments, by the way, and you got to know it. And one of Jana's, when I first saw the score, was her vector 1. That's her drive, because it all had to add up in 4 different vectors to 20. But when something was out of whack, it'd give you an asterisk next to it, meaning it's really not the measure. And hers was a 9. You couldn't score more with 2 asterisks, meaning if you don't get moving, she will run you over. But yet, let's go. And she'll drag you too if you need help dragging you. But with that, you're going to see immense drive, wanting to win, numbers matter. Let that be an influence on you as well. Do not take advantage of it is what I'm going to. Don't avoid it. And sometimes when you're not doing what you need to do, jump into it too. That's when you lean it in. When we're struggling the most is when we need to show up. We usually show up when we're winning. We want to tell everybody how great we are and how well we're doing, which is good too. We love that because we want the energy. But when you're struggling the most, jump into it and lean into it. Okay, final comments?
No, thanks, Chad. I heard that story only 15 times. We had one question there.
Yes.
You want to get to know one of us, every one of us individually to see where you want to go.
Yeah, we are going to do a combination, right? So those people that have a desire to do one-on-one with me, it might take me slightly longer than 90 days. Then I will definitely go ahead and do so. And then we are also going to do it in a group setting. So that way we can kind of see, all right, let's do a small group masterminds so we can all share our goals and 411 so we can hold each other accountable. Now, one thing that I want to make sure that, when Chad says that I tend to be intense at times. I also want to make sure that you guys know that I still have a boots on the ground. So when one of my agents at the signature office challenged me, well, when was the last time you made an expired call? I said, you know what? Why don't we lead generate tomorrow morning? And I am more than happy to join you. We can hop on a dialer. We can challenge each other in the scripts because culture of productivity is what will all help us succeed. So I'm excited to lead generate with you, Karine.
And just to clarify to that is Jana will be proactive reaching out to others, and we do it based on production, by the way, right? We start with the highest production and work our way down. And that's not a secret. When she goes, does she have your favorites? We just do it based on production. And then the AOC will obviously be in report too, because they've already raised their hand.